order. It is 6:30 p.m., Monday, September 15th. At this time, I'd like to remind everyone to please sign in and silence their cell phones. I would also like to remind our visitors that in order to facilitate an effective meeting, we ask those who wish to make comments to the board, read the visitor guidelines, which are found on the table right outside the door, and complete the attached public participation form and bring those over to Sarah. Public participation is only allowed during the public participation portions of the meeting. Other than those times, board meetings are not interactive with those in attendance. Okay, roll call.
Bannister.
Here.
Jordan.
Here.
Lamb. McComb.
Here.
Rock.
Here.
Severance. McMurray.
Here. All right, let's stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, Lincoln Trail, you are in the house. Okay, we're starting.
All right. Well, I'll kind of introduce who we have here. We actually have some Lincoln Trail alumni that came back in order to help us with our presentation this evening because they were kind enough to serve as student leaders over the summer for our summer book club, which we'll talk a little bit more about. So I have Kai and Quinn Stauffer, Stella Hyman, Tennyson Hedgespeth, and Levi and Emmett Risley as well. And then we also have Eli, who could not resist his sister on. All right, so we do have a little bit of a playground update for us. It has been a journey for that Lincoln Trail playground. It sure has. You guys can come up here. You guys come up here. So we started fundraising for this for our annual dog walk.
Yes, you got it.
Yep, it's all good. It's all good. So we've kind of been putting some money away from our annual dog walk fundraising efforts to just kind of start a little savings so that we can save up some money. Playground equipment rather is expensive, and so to buy a large play pod structure like that, we needed to save a little bit of money. So we've been working with PTO on that the last several years. Those of you that were students last year at Lincoln Trail, you probably remember on our question of the day board. You guys want to talk to us a little bit about that process? What did we have? Okay.
So we have like a question of the day board at Lincoln Trail, and one of the questions was like a bunch of these pictures of different playgrounds like that we could get. So then they had like a voting spot, which we do in like different kinds of polls. And so the voting spot was of different ones, and the top two that were like picked that day that had the most votes, she put up there the next day. And then with also some other like questions we had in the past about what equipment we liked and kind of like a mix of that, and we picked, and then the one that got the most votes was like the most similar to the one we got. So that was kind of the idea of where it came from.
And one of the things I know we talked about at Hot Chocolate Friday, because I kind of just picked their brains a little bit about why they liked certain pieces of equipment better, what things resonated with them more than the others. One of the most overwhelming, this just kind of gives you a glimpse into the kind of students that we have, the kind of kids that you share with us, are one of the overarching theme that came back was there has to be something accessible for our students with disabilities for that. So we have several students in wheelchairs, and so being able to have equipment on that play pod structure that they can actually access was very important to our students. So that's what I kept going back to John, who's our rep with Game Time, of we need to add more pieces of this either to that structure, or you'll see in some of the photos there are some separate pieces that have been added to that. So that was kind of our process. I don't play on it. These guys do. So I wanted their input on what made sense for us to do. So we kind of started with a little bit of playground demolition. Do you remember what that looked like, Emmett?
Yes. So it was all basically packaged up until 2 days before school, I think.
Right, yeah.
They finally started working on it the day before school or the first day of school. And it took about a week and a half. And then it was finally up. But then it took even longer because they had to put a bunch of rock in. And some kids I could play on it, but
It went really quick because a lot of the kids like stayed out of the way of the people who were working. So they were able to spread the rock like over the weekend, and then we were able to play on it the next week.
As you'll probably remember, we were so close. We finally had the equipment in, and then we had to bring in 80 tons of rock, I think. Dwayne Northrop was able to work with a company to get that delivered, and then over a weekend, they were able to get all of that spread out. Learned a lot about just all of the things that have to go into codes regarding playground equipment. So yes, that was a project that we had hoped would become full circle long before it did, but kids are enjoying it now. Those were just a couple pictures actually that I snapped even this morning. So you can kind of see the different play structures.
No.
That's what 80 tons of rock looks like apparently, on there. So, we took out a lot of broken equipment. The tires are still there. We did not take out the tires. The tires are still there. There is a larger big space, just kind of an open space that we're hoping maybe through our dog walk fundraising efforts this year to try to figure out maybe a smaller piece, not as large as what we did over the summer, to kind of fill that space a little bit. But that's kind of phase one. That was the big thing, was getting rid of, while the bridge was fun and some other things were fun, they were just broken and creating safety issues for our kids. So it's now fun park for kids to come over the summer. So speaking of summer, we also met 2 times in person, and then once at the start of the year for a special Chocolate Friday. And so we picked 3 different books to read this summer. And so Stella's going to talk to us about The Wild Robot, which was our June book club pick.
The Wild Robot is about a robot who is on a ship that crashed on land with animals. At the beginning of the story, the animals thought he was a monster. At the end, they thought he was sweet.
So we had probably over 100 students, I think, register for the June book club. I never dreamed we would have that many students I thought I would have like 2. And it would probably be like one of these kids right here that would want to do this. But I think we successfully sold out every retailer in Champaign for this book. All copies at the public library were out. I know we had a lot that were celebrating with watching the movie, and it's become a popular book even since kids have come back to school. So our July pick was Out of My Mind by Sharon Draper, which is one of my favorite books. It's a story about a little girl who can't speak. She has cerebral palsy, and she has all of these ideas in her mind. She has a photographic memory, but she can't share any of that because she doesn't have her voice. And through the work of her school, she's finally given her voice, and others realize what exactly she has to say. So we had some really interesting conversations in July that were led by our older students that came back to help with that. They run a really good literature circle. They really do. They understand how that book club process works, and they were on task, especially at Kai's group. Lots of raising hands and turn and talks. It was good. It was good. So Quinn is going to talk to us about our August pick, which was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a story about winning a golden ticket and visiting a chocolate factory. I can't pick a favorite character because I like them all.
Yep. So they had a little bit of a homework assignment that they had to do for that, to be invited to a special Hot Chocolate Friday celebration that we had on our first Friday back in school. So again, kudos to you guys, and any student that read even one of the books this summer. I mean, that's huge to be able to say that you read 3 books on your summer vacation. So thought that was a good first experience for that. And then also, this will impact some of these students more than others, but another summer update that we're actually still working on now is we have 2 classrooms at Lincoln Trail due to just a lot of students that we have that do not have lockers. And that is something I know that is really important to them. Some of those that did not have lockers at their 3rd grade experience. So soon, Stella, Mr. Keller is working on putting those lockers together. which is not a fun process at all. There's lots of little pieces that need to be put together, but they currently have hooks is what they're currently utilizing, but there's just sort of something special about being able to have that locker at Lincoln Trail. So the hooks will be coming down, the lockers will be going in, they'll be anchored to the wall. So they're actually nice and sturdy lockers. They're at a really good height. They look really tall in the photo, but they're actually at a really good height for our students at Lincoln Trail. So they'll be nice and sturdy. And those will hopefully be installed pretty soon. Mr. Keller's been hard at work on getting those put together, so. Questions for these guys?
What would you guys do at recess before the equipment was completed?
I usually would just play basketball.
I would play like on the field or something, or on the blacktop.
Probably had to get pretty creative without all the equipment there. Okay.
Talk a little more about the book clubs. I'm curious about that. When did you meet? Where did you meet? Were the big kids the ones who were kind of running the whole thing?
We could not have done it without them, that is for sure.
I'd say probably half of the groups were run by them, and then half of the groups were run by like teachers and stuff.
Did you meet at school?
Yes, we met in the cafeteria, and then I was only able to go to the first one, but we were able to watch some of the Wild Robot movie.
Nice. Did you do any of the clubs? Did you go to any of them? Yeah. Did you do all of them? Surprised me. Yeah.
Tennyson is also an author herself, so I have no doubt that one of these days I will be reading a book that has been authored by her. This I know to be true. One day. So yeah, they came with, a lot of them came with discussion questions. I would post some discussion questions in Parent Square that they could answer as they were reading along. And then our group facilitators are returning now 6th graders that came back to Lincoln Trail, did a great job just keeping that conversation going. We usually had a little snack, I feel like, in there, right? I think we met in the library one time because that's when they were waxing the cafeteria, so kind of had to move ourselves around a little bit. And then they had a little bit of homework that they had to do from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory for their special chocolate surprise, so.
So there's all that room left on the playground. If you could add one more thing, what would you want to add?
Probably a zip line.
Oh. Okay.
No, right back where we started.
I like it.
Okay.
What else? I'm putting you on the spot.
A ninja course.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
We just could maybe use a little work, right?
We could maybe combine that and just make a whole high ropes course.
Yeah. Like there's a Ninja Warrior pack.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like Iron Coyote kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay.
What our insurance would think.
Yeah.
We don't have enough rocks for that.
You need like foam flooring. Yeah. Yeah.
Little tons of rock.
Any other questions? Good work. Good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now you are welcome to stay for the whole meeting if you want, just to see how a board meeting runs. But you do not have to. You are allowed to.
We don't.
Their parents are like, good job.
Thank you.
Guys.
No, I do. I like these chairs. I think my position is because mine was the thickest. Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thanks, Glenn.
Okay, well, that's part of the meeting. Okay, so you've had a chance to look at the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented? No, sorry. No, but that's for the consent agenda though, right?
Yeah, but it's
Um,
part of underneath though. Wanted to go ahead and do
That's a good point. Thank you. Okay, so under consent agenda, we are going to modify the Bible Club that's starting. We're just calling it the Bible Club. It's not MSHS Bible Club, it is. So we are gonna modify that. So with that modification, I need a motion to approve the modification.
I move to approve the modified agenda for tonight.
Thank you. Can I have a second? for that?
Second.
Thank you. Do I need a voice or roll call? Voice. Okay. All those in favor of modifying the agenda to remove the MSHS in front of Bible Club, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. So it's modified. Now do I have to do another
Yeah, to
motion to approve the agenda? Okay, so now can I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented,
As modified.
as modified?
So moved.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Okay, that is a voice vote. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the agenda, say aye. All those opposed? Okay, thanks. Multi-steps. Okay. Then we have the consent agenda. Within the consent agenda, we have minutes from the August 18th meeting, both open and closed sessions. Minutes from the September 8th meeting, both open and closed sessions. Bills is presented, treasurer's report is presented, personnel changes as presented, and creation of a Bible club. Is there anything we want to pull out for discussion?
No, but Sarah, in all of that packet, then will you please strike out the MSHS in front? Thank you.
Thank you. Anything that we want to pull out for discussion? Okay. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented with the modified Bible Club title?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, let's do a roll call vote on that, please.
Bannister,
Yes. Yes.
McComb,
Yes.
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes. Okay, that passes. All right, donations, Dr. Lou.
Yes, we do have 3 donations, and as we'd mentioned earlier in the month, or actually in August, that we do have donations coming in for the project over at the high school with regard to dugouts. From the athletic boosters of $50,000, corporate funding account of $25,000, and Bulldog Open at $25,000 for a total of $100,000.
Wow. The superintendent recommends the approval of the donations as presented. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, let's do a roll call, please.
Jordan,
Yes.
McComb,
Yes.
Rock,
Yes.
Bannister,
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes, those are approved. Thank you very much to all of those folks. Okay, communication. I don't see anybody from PTO, MSEA, anything foundation wise. That's usually Justin, right? All right, so item 9 is board communication. Any board communication? It's pretty quiet.
Appreciate everyone has gotten us off to seems to be a pretty solid start this year, so good job, everybody.
I'll give a shout out to the volleyball team. They raised quite a bit of money for a local family battling breast cancer.
Yeah, that's
They
cool.
did a really nice job there. It was really neat.
Excited about our junior high golf.
Yeah, it was a great Friday,
For fun.
great
Yep.
Friday night. Volleyball had a nice weekend, cross country had a nice weekend, swimming had,
Yeah.
Oh, and we're playing flag football.
Oh, my
Yes.
goodness.
I saw a game.
split
on TV.
on Saturday, yeah.
Yeah. I have my 8th grader going into high school. She's like, I don't know what I'm gonna, in the fall, I could do cross country, I could do diving, I could do flag football. The other one, tennis.
Yeah.
Intramurals.
Intramurals.
The world is her oyster.
Well, that just shows how much we all have to offer.
Yep.
There's just so much there's so many options. And it was like what Dr. Hensley said last week, like we want to make sure that we are addressing as many opportunities for different kinds of kids as we can. So I just appreciate that. Okay, I kind of derailed that. Any other communication to share? Okay. All right, director reports. We had those reports were inside of our board packet. Is there anything that anybody wants to question or ask about? That sounded weird.
Other than I appreciate the director reports.
Same.
It's good. all that information.
I love the data from the communications director showing the engagement. Just gives credence to what we're trying to do.
And actually, in our directors meeting that we had today, as we're all working together and she's creating and doing all the work, of a mailer, then she asked to be able to put a bit.ly on the front page of a mailer, and then she can be able to bring back analytics to us as well. So she's constantly thinking about different ways to monitor traffic and then see if what she is doing differently to increase or decrease readership.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Any other comments? Questions? I just feel like these reports really help us kind of have a pulse of what's happening in the district because, you know, we rely on you for a lot of communication. You're great at it, but there are things that like we wouldn't think to ask you about, but it's helpful for us to know because people will ask us about it. And like, yeah, I don't know.
And really, those are a direct result of our little committee to discuss ways that I can do a better job as we work to evaluate me.
I think it's great. All right. Any other questions or comments? Okay, let's jump ahead to Christine. Christine, is there anything you want to highlight in your report?
There's not.
Oh, any questions for Christine? I'm excited. No, I feel like we're on a smooth start.
We're gonna knock on wood, we're in a good.
Yeah, good. Okay, Dr. Beckby, did you have anything you wanted to highlight?
Just to highlight, our multilingual population continues to grow. We screen more students than we ever have, 41 students this year. And our population has grown to 110 students. And as you can see in the report, Spanish is our most common language, but our Mandarin, Gujarati, Korean, some of those languages are also seeing some significant gains in the number of students. So just a little bit about that, and then professional development, just we're off to a great start. Our 612 math team has spent some quality time together learning, and we're working towards a 612 math vision for what we want math instruction to look like in the future of the district. So that's all I got. Any questions?
I did have one question.
Mhm.
How did we navigate ELL students before we had a staff dedicated to that?
Yeah, so you can see like in the 16, 17, 17, 18, so it's what some districts will do. I'm not sure exactly what we did here. But usually that is falling on some staff members. Some schools will use like interventionists and things like that, or other support positions. Again, I'm not sure what we did in this district. Tracy Beecher then was our first multilingual teacher in the district. And now we have 2 dedicated teachers, and then she still supports in some ways in her role. We are starting to tick. I know we've been giving updates. I mean, it's essentially 55 students each for Damaris, and then 55 students each for Jackie. Their caseload, especially with the number of newcomers increasing, it's starting to get. We have 25 newcomers this year, and that is it's starting to get to the point. We gave them 5 days each this summer to do all the screenings and the parent notifications and things like that. So they were able to get time working with students much faster this year. But their caseloads are really starting to tick up. And those newcomers, that's really what I like to watch with those, because the amount of needs to support them and the teachers that are supporting them every day, that's where a lot of our great needs come from. We received 3 kids from Brazil this year speaking Portuguese. And that was brand new. Then we received another family from the United Arab Emirates. The twins showed up here and right into a couple second grade classrooms, and like speak very little English and things like that. So them being ready, them being able to willing and support. So just some different needs, and it just keeps ticking up. But they do a great job supporting them. Our teachers have been learning and growing to support. So bless you.
Bless you.
Does the majority of that come from the university? Is there?
Yeah, so the research park and things like that, we're seeing a pretty large uptick, especially in some of the Asian languages and things like that. Yeah, absolutely.
This is not urgent. This is just pure curiosity.
Yeah.
I would be curious to see how that breaks down per grade level. particularly bad, just because I know, how challenging that is. So like, for example, I'm thinking last time we talked about enrollment numbers, I would feel a little less stressed knowing that we had maybe newcomers in a kindergarten with 16 versus multiple newcomers in a 5th grade with 28 kids. So it's more, I mean, more just. Any questions for Dr. Bagby? Great. Okay, Dr. Lee.
Yes, just at the conclusion of this meeting, final adoption procedures hopefully will be satisfied with regard to the budget. I'll see that they get filed with our county clerks within 30 days, and then we'll submit those to ISB. Security and safety meeting we had it last month. As far as mandated reporters, employees sign off for that. And just as a reminder, our district employees shouldn't solicit donations or sales as well. As far as the financial piece of it, when you look at our monthly financial report, you'll see that compared to this percentage of fiscal year that's passed, we're behind in revenue and ahead in expenses. Again, as of today, we have not received tax money. In speaking with the Office of the Treasurer last week, the gentleman that I spoke to believed that those would be released by the end of this week. So also, as we've been talking about, federal funds are lagging and a little bit less than what we're used to seeing. Good news is once this tax money comes in, we'll see an increase due to our EAV. And then also we've seen an increase with EBF because the state legislature gave more money to EBF. We continue to be a tier 1 school. And that were, if you remember, those were the only changes between our tentative budget that was displayed on August 4th and last week at the budget hearing. On the expense side, obviously, you'll notice an increase in expenditures, which is the secured entrance at the junior high. Health, life, safety expenses, we knew those were coming when we issued $4.8 million worth of bonds last spring. So with that being said, our fund balance is right at 120 days cash on hand. So that is down from last month, but still healthy for us.
Yeah. Any questions for Dr. Lee?
Yeah, just a question about the bond payment that was paid this month.
Mhm.
What would we attribute that being not paid? Why was that paid last year?
You know, I'm guessing on when we received it, maybe Ms. Smith held on to it or something for a couple weeks to just make sure, but when we get it, I process it, so, yeah.
You're thinking, and you're thinking.
Red flag reports, just the end of the financial report.
Yeah, so that's because that is outside of my skill set right now. That's why I made sure to tell you that we're at 120 days cash on hand. So I know that that's what you like to look at in the bottom left.
Look at that, yeah.
But I could not.
And the slightly ahead of me, so you're quoting this information. I'm thinking, okay, maybe the report.
No, it's because I did the calculations. It's just that document, and the only one that had all the live formulas in it.
Sorry, I brought that up.
Yeah, it was several months old. No, I can feel my face getting red. I feel shame. Shame, Max, but thank you.
We still think you're a great student.
You're okay interim finance.
Right.
Look like your day job.
Stay with the superintendent.
Right.
I did the
You're really
calculation,
good at that.
calculation and everything, Max.
All right, well, we're just gonna keep the spotlight on you. Why don't you
Right.
tell us about the strategic, well, wait, do you have more questions, Max? No. Max, do you have more questions?
No, I just
All right, go to living the strategic plan update.
Sure.
thought I just figures were being quoted.
My feelings are still kind of hurt that your favorite part of the meeting is not the superintendent.
I apologize, but well, actually, no, I'm not sorry.
As Dr. Bagby mentioned, math teachers 6 through 12 received some professional development on September 9th and 10th, along with our special education teachers. So we know how tough that is to be out of the classroom for 2 days in a row. But the long game, it's certainly worth it, and certainly appreciate the flexibility with our principals arranging for subs and teachers putting in for that, and the sub plans and all of that. But we're thankful for that. STAR assessment's been administered and closed on September 5th, and our new curriculum coordinator, Din Sito, who is here tonight, is immersing herself in MTSS and Strategic Goal 1. So recently on September 2nd, she held meetings with administrators, interventionists, and school psychologists. So we welcome Din and appreciate her work. Always, Mr. Bannister mentioned looking at Mrs. Bryson's report. She offered professional development for stakeholders who think that they're getting too many emails as a result of Parent Square, which I think is a great problem, right? That people are receiving too much communication. She's also working with administration to communicate to our stakeholders on how to work with Go Guardian to where they can crank that down with some of the parental controls and things like that. So there'll be 6 through 12, there'll be some communication coming out with regard to that. And then she and I met and we collaborated with other administration as we continue to work on our mailer. And her eye for design is welcome.
I was approached by a parent. The reason why they left private school to come to Mahomet because the Mahomet Math Department was ranked in the top 5 in the state, and to see them continue to work and get better.
Yeah. Great. Thank you. With regard to facilities and safety, our assistant principals presented reunification plans and maps to other administrators. Officer Thomas has provided training on ALICE to our substitutes. Our first responder meeting per school code's complete, but we'll have more to come. We just don't do that though once a year. Playgrounds are complete and other summer projects are wrapping up. The doors are in on the secured entrance at the junior high, but now we're waiting on some of the hardware with the openers and things like that. Once we get that completed,
Always something.
plan on the New Year's Eve soiree. We will have some sort of a board open house so you guys can come in and go through it. It's nice. And then with technology, Dr. Bagby's working with Kyle as far as an AI plan and technology staff. The addition of the technology specialist has really helped out. I mean, I'm sure Kyle will echo that, but you can tell that as a group, they're able to be more visible and to assist our staff more.
Wonderful.
So we appreciate that.
I just want to give kudos the ALICE training for the substitute teachers. I remember speaking about that and how that would have been nice if they would have had that training. We had the false alarm. And I just really appreciate you following up on things.
Yeah, Officer Thomas comes over. Our instructional coaches and Dr. Bagby put that training together for our substitutes, and he comes over and helps out with that. And he's been very open to any training that we've asked him to do, and we appreciate that. So.
Okay. All right, let's talk through the budget consideration and possible approval of the fiscal year 26 budget.
Yes, again, as I mentioned, the only changes, and you can see the red numbers are just spending down what we thought that we were going to spend down in the first place, as well as spending down with regard to bond and interest, and then the IMRF, just that we're carrying a balance in, and we were able to increase our tort revenue from the levy with regard to that and spend that down to keep the rate the same, but pay for the secured entrance. And then the additional revenue was in the education fund and the operations and maintenance fund as a result of evidence-based funding. And other than that, Ms. Smith worked all spring with stakeholders, so I didn't monkey around with the expenses any. In the event that we do need to amend like we did last year, we'll do that at towards the end of the fiscal year and make sure that we get that buttoned up under school code.
Questions about budget?
Well, I think we should load him up with budget questions. Just kidding, Doctor.
This is what, the third or fourth time that we've looked at this. Yeah.
Seems like we've looked at this budget more than any budget in recent years.
Yeah. I've gone through it. I don't have any concerns. Always have to remember that we reallocated some funds from Social Security and help me out with the other one.
that balance needs to go down. So there's no reason to carry money on that. I understand why she was doing that. Also, just of note is that we do have 5 copies of the budget just in case. Certainly 3 of them are spoken for, but we've got 5. So please sign in blue ink on the left, however you vote. So remember, just a reminder that if you vote yes, sign on the left side, and if you vote nay, sign on the right side, please.
Blue ink.
In blue ink, please.
This blue ink pen. Are you good?
I have blue.
Okay, fantastic.
I'd like to examine your pen before I try.
Yes.
All right, on that note, the superintendent recommends that the Board of Education approve the fiscal year 26 budget as presented. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Oh, boy. I think that goes to Jeff. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Rock got that one. Any further discussion on the budget?
Just one more comment. We've been at this for a while, but appreciate that we were able to keep that tax rate the same and not keep driving that up. So appreciate all the hard work on that.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Cone,
Yes.
Rock,
Yes.
Bannister,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes. Passes, we all sign on the last. Got it. Okay, new business is consideration and possible approval of an intergovernmental agreement with Lewis University.
Yes, this is actually, former Mahomet-Seymour Bulldog Maddie Wade can work with Elisa Lamb with as far as working on completing her degree in occupational therapy. We signed one with Lewis very similar to this last year. It's expired, so we're just bringing this renewal back.
I thought we did. The typical is only doing for 1 year.
Oh,
So no,
Okay.
we do that for 3 years and we did not catch on there, and the person that was there prior put it in for 1 year and I think didn't realize that their practice was also 3 years.
Okay.
They're doing the position, she reached out. They altered the dates, so this one should be good for the next 3 years.
Okay.
other questions? Okay. The superintendent recommends that the Board of Education approve the intergovernmental agreement with Lewis University as presented. Do I have a motion? So moved. Is that you, Max?
That was me.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote, please.
Rock,
Yes.
Bannister,
Yes.
Jordan, Cone,
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes, that passes. Let's talk about bus drivers.
Yes, this is essentially just renewing the first student contract that we approved last fall. We have been pleased with the drivers that we get. We continue to be short on drivers, and this is just one avenue that we can do. There is a clause in here that if we want to get out of it, we can just give 30 days notice. It is expensive, but we also don't pay IMRF and some things like that with regard to it. Heather did budget for it in the spring, knowing.
Have we been using them already? I'm assuming.
Yes. They would just like to renew the contract. I didn't bring it last month because I had some additional questions and needed some time to meet with Edmund Dixon, who's the gentleman who is out east in Ohio that I work with on this.
It looked like in Mr. Varner's report, there were 1 or 2 that were either passing their or obtaining their license or very close to it. So hope to see the need for this go away in the future,
So-
or at the very least decline.
Sure. So out of transparency though, if we do add a couple, the first moves will be to bring routes back. Cause like right now,
Oh.
like we may chop up route number 7 by 5 and add those to these others. So
Route 9, what's Route 9? Do you know offhand which route that
There's
is?
a route, he specifically mentioned a route that goes out to like,
Pine Tree. Oh, that's right, yeah.
The bank.
So-
Green Lake Pine Tree.
So we could. Megan, Christine, do you remember what he said today? To be fully staffed, would we need another 4 drivers? So,
Okay.
so that would be 6.
Yeah.
But we're getting there.
I'm happy that we have this in place. I think that if we can lean on it maybe more, we should.
And when I initially talked to them in August, they said no to anything, and then they did come up with 2. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that.
Any relief for these?
Yeah.
So no-
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Kenny, do you know offhand how this rate compares to last year? I assume
Yes, it's up
higher.
it's up about $70 a day, per driver. They negotiated a new 76, I believe.
Okay.
But yes, because that's what was the delay in that, because I needed to talk through that increase, with regard to that. But they negotiated a new contract and since we're buying from them,
Makes sense.
they're gonna continue to make their profit on top of that.
Sure.
So, yeah.
All right, other questions? Okay, the superintendent recommends that the Board of Education approve the contract with First Student to perform transportation routes as presented. Do I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Oh, boy, again.
I don't know, rock, paper, scissors.
All right, Kyle got that one. Max, you want to second it?
Sure.
Any further discussion? Okay, let's do roll call.
Bannister,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
McCollum,
Yes.
Rock,
Yes.
and Murray.
Yes. All right, that is approved. So health insurance.
Yes, so as you know, Health Alliance is no longer going to be an option for us. So we worked with our broker to go out to the market and get several different options. And in meeting and talking through, making sure that we were offering, continue to offer a good product to our employees, we decided that it was probably the most advantageous to them to offer more than one choice. So this is what we're bringing to you tonight. Option number one is, if you remember when we implemented the HRA program, and then we reimburse for up to the $1,000 for an individual or $2,000 for family in order to try to keep that rate a little bit lower. And we've had some success with that. But due to rising costs, that the rate on that is $1,033.89 a month, and our contract will be at $990 a month. So, in order to keep that zero deductible, our employees would have to pay in some, which is common practice, especially coming from our broker.
Situation. though.
So then we also wanted to offer a more of a middle of the road option for our employees that does have some deductibles involved with that, but our entire benefit would cover that. So there would be no expense to the employee, and they can still have a PPO program. Then on top of that, we wanted to offer a health savings account because for those that may not use their insurance much, this is an opportunity for them to save from there. You can see that is considerably less than what we would pay in benefit wise. So we thought that if someone was interested in that, in order to entice them to go that direction, that we would, as a district, offer them $1,000 towards their health savings account contribution, paid on a quarterly basis, and at $250 a pop, for obvious reasons, in the event that someone would leave early with that. So those are the three options that we're bringing to you tonight for approval. If that is approved, then right after this would be a memorandum of understanding with the MSEA, just outlining the $250 a quarter for contribution for our employees. So feel like it's really gives our employees three nice options to go with, and certainly for an opportunity to make a little money on it with the contribution to the health savings account for the district and the employee, should they not use their health savings account.
On that quarterly, is it the first beginning of the quarter? Do you know how that works?
It'd be January 15th. Is that because we start the calendar year on January 1, obviously? But it would be January 15th and then every 3 months, just so they have a little money in there to get started. Yes.
I think it's nice that you have the different plans for people to choose. It's not a one size fits all, of all different kinds of situations. Would this create an administrative burden on us trying to manage all these different plans, or is that just pretty simple, just selecting which one they're?
So it'll all be through Employee Navigator, and Mrs. Sheets, who's kind of oversees all this, has been in all of the meetings with us and is prepared for this. And then also we get a lot of service from Clemens and Associates, Randy Butts and Gail Heaton. Gail worked for Health Alliance for years, and then they stole her away, and she's been our consultant, and we get a lot of support from them.
Do any of these plans closely resemble what we have now, or are they all just?
The first one does.
First one does.
It's like $40 more. Is that accurate?
Do you remember what what they're paying right now?
So what they're paying right now was.
$9.90.
Spreadsheet.
Well, $9.90 is the benefit, and we're not quite hitting the full benefit.
Yeah. So we're working on the 43 over the benefit.
Yeah, currently it's $857.
That's about it.
Welcome to life without health lines.
And, the union has looked at this and.
Yeah, so contractually, we have an insurance committee that says we have to agree. So yes, Dr. Bagby, headed up the first meeting, and then I was in and out of the second one, and then we still meet with the union every other Friday, and we're good to go. And they've already signed the MOU in anticipation of this going through.
The HSA option premium is fully covered as well. correct?
Yes, yes.
Just that first one. It's-
Right. So the options 2 and 3 are fully covered, and then option 3 comes along with a sweetener as well.
I understand. Okay, thank you.
Good question. All right, any other questions? Okay. The superintendent recommends that the Board of Education approve the health insurance plan calendar year 2026 as presented. I have a motion for that.
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Okay, do a roll call vote on that.
Jordan,
Yes.
McComb,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Bannister,
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes, thank you for all your work on that and getting together and talking. So let's now talk about an MOU about it.
Yes, so we have a one-page MOU that expires at the end of this contract. Just stating that we will contribute $1,000 per calendar year. Actually, it doesn't,
It does not.
it does not. So, but it says it will contribute $1,000 and $250 per quarter. And then this will be in place. I misspoke. This will be in place as long as we have the health savings account.
Okay.
But obviously, we'll have a new contract before we go to redo this.
And the reason we need to do this is because in our current contract, this language just doesn't exist.
Right, because we've never had a health savings account.
Other questions?
I would just be really interested to see what the enrollment looks like. Just curious if.
And I'm curious as well, and then I'm curious at what we'll see moving forward as, just because when we've moved to that model, 100% enrollment in that model, in a previous district, it was not real popular at first, and then very, very popular, that people really enjoyed it at the end as you're increasing your balance, right?
Yep.
Hopefully.
Other questions? Okay, the superintendent recommends that the Board of Education approve the memorandum of understanding with the MSEA regarding health savings account contributions as presented. I have a motion for that.
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion? Okay.
McComb,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Bannister,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes, okay, that is approved. So EIS Administrator Teacher Salary Benefits.
Yes, we're required to post this on our website for the previous fiscal year by October 1st of every year. So I just like to present it to the Board of Education so they get their eyes on it first before we post it on the website.
Just one question.
Yeah.
There's a big discrepancy in what the other benefits categories. Some have as high as 22,000 and some are as low as 0. What would be an example of other?
Sure. So if you look at, and this is public record, so we'll just go ahead and talk about Chad Benedict. Okay. So if you look at Chad Benedict, you can see that Becky Benedict above her other benefits are 0.
Yep.
So that has to do with your insurance that you can get. I'm not 100. Christine, can you explain that since you and Dwayne are both, that it just charges to one of you and then the other doesn't have to pay?
If you have family insurance, right, all of your family is looped into that, so, and that was the case for Dwayne and I, and that's the case for the Benedicts. Once our kids were off the dole, right, which that's everybody at this point, then we go back to individual insurance. But that's the difference between for the Benedicts right now, they still have kids who are on family insurance, so that only costs one of them, not.
Then the other piece of that is that for whatever reason, you get by our contract, you get to choose if you want health insurance, dental insurance, or vision insurance. So maybe if my spouse would cover the health insurance and I just take dental, that's going to affect that number as well.
Thank you.
You bet.
Other questions? We don't need to vote on that.
Nope.
Really just discussion. All right, let's talk through item 6, IMRF compensation.
We also need to post salaries over $75,000 with regard to IMRF employees, and you can see that report is attached as well.
Any questions on this one? I know Nancy Harrison has been a bus driver since what,
1983.
Wow.
83.
Yeah,
That's
so
a long time.
That's a lot of routes.
it's a lot of routes, it's a long
I'd like to know how
time.
many miles that is.
Yeah.
A lot of stories too.
You think, I think, yeah.
So kudos to her.
And to her credit, she's still one of the first drivers that will come in and say, can I talk to you about how to handle X, Y, or Z?
Yeah. And
Student centered.
Yeah.
Wow. I think we're done with that one. Okay. We do have closed session tonight. We have an item that we will be coming back out of closed session to discuss. So we are going to table item number 7 until after our closed session time. A closed session is necessary tonight for the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. Is there a motion to approve?
as well as individual student matters.
As well as individual student matters. Is there a motion to approve to go into closed session for those 2 reasons? Okay, thank you. Second, okay. Let's do a roll call vote to go into closed session. Rock,
Yes.
Bannister,
Yes.
Jordan,
Yes.
Home,
Yes.
Yes, so we will go into closed session. We will pause the YouTube feed. We will turn it back on once we come back.